All right, today we are going to decode the secret language of your mind. You know those habits and traits that people just don't get? Well, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the powerful, hidden logic that's really driving them.
So, have you ever felt like your brain is just running on a different operating system than everyone else's? Like maybe you're the one who overthinks everything, or you desperately need alone time, and people look at you like you've got three heads. Yeah, that feeling? That's exactly what we're diving into. Because here's the thing, psychology tells us that those strange habits, they are never random. They're actually clues. They're like a roadmap to your brain's unique way of seeing the world, and they often point to some incredible and totally overlooked strengths. Okay, let's jump in with our first profile, the deep thinker. You know this person. Their mind is like a constant whirlwind of analysis, curiosity, and, connecting dots that most of us don't even see are on the same page. So what's a deep thinker actually like? Well, they're the ones who seem to overthink, but it's always with a purpose, with a kind of logic behind it. They've got this bottomless curiosity. They absolutely cannot stand shallow small talk. And yeah, they question everything. And from the outside looking in, people often get it wrong. They'll say, oh, they're just overthinking things. Or they'll think this person is just anxious because they're analyzing every single angle. But honestly, that's a complete misunderstanding of what's really going on inside their head. See, psychology actually has a name for this, and it's called cognitive complexity. And this is so important. It is not anxiety-driven overthinking. It's the brain's natural, incredible ability to see the full multidimensional picture. We're talking details, consequences, and possibilities that just fly right over most people's heads. I mean, this is the exact trait that defines brilliant strategists and scientists, right? The ones who can see the entire chessboard, not just the next move.
And this really breaks down the fundamental difference. On one side, you've got the high curiosity of the deep thinker. They're always exploring, always asking why. But on the flip side, you have what's called cognitive rigidity. And that's a mind that, well, it avoids new ideas, it sees the world in stark black and white, and it basically treats learning something new like it's a threat.
Oh, and this is a classic one. Another totally misunderstood trait. You might look at their chaotic desk and think, wow, what a disorganized mind. But in psychology, this is called selective organization. And get this, their physical space might be a mess because all their mental energy is laser-focused on building these perfectly structured systems for their ideas. It's actually a sign of incredible mental efficiency. All right, let's move on to our next profile, and you'll see how these ideas connect. Let's talk about the independent survivor. Now, this is someone whose fierce self-reliance wasn't just, a personality choice. No, it was forged in the fire of their life experiences. So what are their core traits? While they have this hyper-awareness of social signals, they can read a room like nobody's business. They're fiercely, almost stubbornly self-reliant. And their values? They prize loyalty and consistency way more than big, grand gestures of affection. And underneath it all, they carry this silent, deep emotional strength that most people never even get a glimpse of. And again, from the outside, people can get this so wrong. They're often labeled as distant, maybe a little cold, or someone who just doesn't trust anyone. But that's such a surface-level judgment, and it completely misses the deep psychological why behind their behavior. What's really going on here is a psychological concept called rejection sensitivity. Think about it. If emotional support in your past was unpredictable, your brain had to adapt, right? It learned to read the subtitles of human interaction, those tiny shifts in tone, the pauses, the body language. It's a highly tuned survival skill, and it basically turns them into experts at reading a room long before anyone else even notices the temperature has changed. And this really maps out how that happens. It all starts with inconsistent, unreliable support. So the brain, which is the ultimate adaptation machine, just rewires itself for self-reliance. It's simple, really. They just stop expecting anyone to rescue them or validate them. And they learn, step by step, how to handle every single challenge, all on their own.
And that is why they don't chase drama or intense emotional highs in relationships. It's not what they're looking for. Their brain is wired to prioritize the one thing it was denied: consistency. For them, that quiet loyalty of someone showing up for you day in and day out, that is infinitely more valuable than some grand one-time gesture. They're seeking safety, not intensity.
Okay, and that brings us to our final profile, the quiet observer. This is the person who often chooses to be alone, but not because they're lonely. Not at all. It's because their inner world is just way more interesting and stimulating than all the noise outside. You'll know them because they're the ones who absolutely need solitude to recharge their batteries. They're masters of observation. They see so much more than they ever say out loud. They guard their privacy, and when they do decide to connect with you, they're looking for deep, authentic connection. No surface-level chatter, thank you very much.
And of course, the classic misunderstanding, right? Oh, they're just antisocial, or they're shy, or they don't like people. But that could not be further from the truth. Their need for solitude actually has a real biological and psychological reason behind it.
Psychology calls this high social sensitivity, and what it means is that their nervous system is just wired differently. It literally burns more energy during social interactions. So it's not that they dislike people, not at all. It's an energy management thing. Solitude is just how they recover, process everything, and recharge their minds.
And this comparison really gets to the heart of what drives them. On one side, you've got external validation, the constant hunt for likes, comments, and approval from others. But the quiet observer, they live on the other side of that street. They operate on internal validation. Their self-worth isn't up for a popular vote. It's built on their own standards. For them, happiness comes from the inside out.
And this is probably the biggest takeaway for this profile. For the quiet observer, being alone isn't a negative space. It's a productive one. It's their workshop where they connect ideas and solve really complex problems. I mean, think about it. The great inventors, the artists throughout history, their biggest breakthroughs didn't happen in a crowded party. They happened in solitude.
So as we start to bring this all together, you can see a pretty clear theme emerging, can't you? The way you behave, those little habits you have, they aren't just random quirks. They are telling a story, the story of how your mind works.
So whether you see yourself as a deep thinker, an independent survivor, or a quiet observer, or maybe a mix of all three, these traits are not flaws. They're a roadmap to your mind's unique wiring, and they reveal the complex, often brilliant ways you've learned to get through the world.
And really, this says it all, doesn't it? These traits aren't good or bad. They just are. They're adaptations. They're the unique signatures of a mind that's been shaped by intelligence and experience to handle whatever the world throws at it.
Which brings us to one last question, just for you. After hearing about these profiles, take a second. Think about your own habits, the ones that people misunderstand. What story are they really telling? What does your personal roadmap